Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Encroachment podcast. My name's Tim. I'm here today with Smoke and the Most Wanted ladies, fresh off a win at Circuit Cup Championship on the ladies tournament 1 week ago today. Before we get into any topics and discussions, let's punt it off. Who do we all have here? I see Smoke, and I see a whole bunch of ladies in the other room. Who do we got here?
What's going on, Tim?
Who's here? Ladies, introduce yourselves.
So we got to start from someone.
Shara. Joy.
I'm Olivia Brown.
Hi, I'm Danielle D-Dub.
Denise P-I-G-P. I'm Latrice. Shrimp.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm Rhonda Leo.
All right, nice to have you, ladies. Thanks for jumping on. Wanted to do a podcast with you guys for a long time, so glad the day's finally here. How you guys feeling? 1 weekend.
Sore. We're good.
Yeah.
Sore? Of course. You played what? 8 games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But how you feeling? Like euphoric? You loving the win? I see the trophies hiding there in the background underneath the light.
Yeah. Yeah, you see Jack Daniels. You know.
Always a good sponsor. I saw a couple pictures of Smoke driving around with it in his car with the seatbelt. Where are you guys going to be taking that thing? Is it going to sit in someone's house, or are you guys going to take it everywhere with you for the next year?
If we can
steal it from our coach,
So,
he sleeps with that thing.
You know what they do in hockey? Every player gets, I believe, it's 24 hours. It might be 72 hours, but I believe it's at least 24 hours with the Stanley Cup. And they can do whatever they want with it. So that's where you see crazy stories of them partying in, like, hotel suites, taking it to, like, amusement parks. So I think you should do that. Those ladies earned it. They deserve it. Give them their 24 hours.
You see Smoke, he's not having that.
If so, we will have to have a monitor all day. With us all day.
That's fine. Stanley Cup has a chaperone too, so that's fine. But anyways, want to congratulate you ladies on the win. Apologize if I stumble. I'm a little under the weather myself. But want to start with a little history because I know a lot of people have played you guys. They've lost to you guys. Only a few teams can really say they've beaten you guys. But you guys won on the biggest stage of them all. But just for a little bit of a history lesson, how long have you guys been playing together as a team?
We just started.
It's off and on. It's off and on. Like a couple of them been together for about how many? 5 years.
5 years.
About 5 years. I came on like 2 years ago. So yeah, it's all different.
Gotcha. Yeah, you could definitely tell the experience shows because with women's on the circuit side being only 2 years in, it seems like some of those veteran teams are the ones that kind of rise to the top, with a few exceptions out there. But another question: what makes you guys stand out? Aside from the experience factor, what makes you guys so good that other teams just can't seem to beat you?
I mean, we just hungry. Like, we just don't go out there and take nobody light. It is what it is. Or we're going to have to hear them guys' mouth. And then it's just, like, horrible.
You're not going to say it's the coaching, right, Smoke?
They'll never say
that. They do a good job, though. They do a good job.
We'll never get that out of them.
Like, 4 times a week, some of us try to, make it to practice, Usually sometimes, Terrence there by his own self. No, but we try, though, for real.
So you guys practice, is it just amongst yourselves or with other teams? Do you guys have your own independent women's leagues out there in St. Louis?
Yeah.
We have our own leagues. We
play. I think it's more so that we get good rec in our home leagues because we get to play like teams like 8-9 at least 3 or 4 times a session, and then you got Rock U, the Queens, you get 99 Probs, teams like that. We get good rec week in, week out. So I mean, I think they help us a lot. They separate us from a lot of these teams out here, to be honest. Because if you got to play now every other week or every championship, they begin to be a headache. You know what I mean? Those they pretty fast, they're pretty good. So I think that's where we get most of our good sparring that really help us take off from a lot of these teams because we have to deal with that type of speed and everything on a daily basis.
Yep, I would completely agree there because if you look on the co-ed side for a number of years, it was the South Florida teams and then the D.C. Virginia area teams that dominated, but it's because they beat up on each other and they got better because of it. So I fully agree right there. And looking over your Circuit Cup schedule, there was only one game that was extremely close, and it was A9. We'll get into that later though, but anyways, so you guys had a hell of a year. I know with a couple different name changes, but you guys basically attended about 4 events. But I want to touch on what I think should have been the most impressive win of the year. You guys winning the championship in DC with only 9 players. Yeah. Walk us through that. How did you get down? How did you get down to 9, and what was going through your head?
You get down to 9.
Actually, we started with I think we had 15 signed up.
We had 10.
We had 10. Then one went down. Trina went down.
Like just a ton of women back out at the last minute. So I mean, the team kind of got discouraged. But like I told them, we gonna make this happen regardless. Let's just go down, make it happen. It is what it is. We heard now. Let's do it. And they gave everything they had. You see, they left it all on the field.
I was there. I watched. It was definitely a good game. When did you lose that player to go down to 9? Was that the semifinals?
Yep, the Final Four. Yep.
Yep.
She actually overran the base and tried to get back, and it was a freak accident.
Mm. Yeah, sitting at HQ sometimes I see enough injuries and that kind of stuff. No, I can't handle it. I walk away. Let the professionals deal with it. But so after DC, you guys went to Nashville. I think didn't you finish in the Final 4?
Yeah.
No.
Championship game.
Oh yeah. Sorry. You're right. You lost the Union. That was another close game too. But walk us through that one. What was going through your head?
We played a horrible game from the horrible beginning to the end.
I remember being there on the sidelines for that too. But I thought you guys were gonna win, but nope.
But
the reason I bring that up, I know some people play really well with a chip on their shoulder. Did that put a chip on your shoulder going into Orlando? Losing that championship game in Nashville, that put some fire on your back?
I mean, I don't think it was us losing. I think it's pretty much like we already had a chip just because y'all didn't even give us the number 1 seed anyway. Y'all tried to do us bad. You know what I'm saying? So we had already knew it was time for time to go to work.
Show out.
It is what it is. Y'all played us, but it's cool.
What, going into Orlando?
Huh?
You talking about going into Orlando?
He said Orlando.
For the 1 seed?
For the number 1 seed.
Going into Orlando.
Into Orlando.
Yeah, no, Sins won that outright. They crushed it on points.
They definitely did.
They crushed it on points. You would have probably had another event, and you still may have not have caught them.
Oh.
They beat you by several thousand points. Yeah. But no worries. You guys came into Orlando as a 2 seed, still very strong. But going into that tournament, when the pools came out, what were you guys thinking? I know everybody there wasn't a single pool that had an easy draw. But what were you guys thinking? Were there any teams that you were trying to avoid in that draw?
No. Everybody plus more. Everybody plus more.
Line them up.
Like dominoes. Everybody plus more. We was going.
I honestly thought VA Hustle was going to be a much more tougher fight than what we had. I kind of game planned pretty strong for them, thinking they were going to be a tougher opponent than what it was because we played them in Georgia in the GKO, but it turned out to be a little different.
Yeah, I saw that one. The second round of pool play looks like the score was about 17-4.
Yeah, it got bad fast.
Somebody got bad.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Some teams have their ups and downs, and there are some wheels falling off in that camp, but I hope they get it together because they're a strong team. And like you said, you game plan a tough game against them, but beating them 17-4 is pretty damn impressive, I would say. But let's backtrack. Your first game was against 99 Problems. It was 14-2. So that was a pretty easy one. But let's go into the next two games. You played Hussey Riot and Shockwave. What about score of that Hussey Riot game was 8-4. Tell us a little bit about that.
I think it was more so the coaches kind of trying to take a little bit off the gas pedal to save them around, because we played Hussey Riot in Nashville, and we ended up beating them, I think, like 21-1, if I'm not mistaken. So it was like try to get, some players some rest and basically get it over with and get out there and don't try to run up the score and nothing like that.
Me neither.
Yeah, they're a sneaky team. I saw them in Nashville. I think they upset VA Hustle, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it the Remix? I'm drawing a blank right now.
Remix.
Yeah, so it just goes to show you can't sleep on anybody.
Yeah.
But your fourth pool play game was Shockwave Crush, 4-2. Anything you want to add to that one? That was probably your closest game.
I believe we played a horrible game. Straight up, I believe we played a horrible game. I'm gonna be honest. It was the third game in. We was trying to get our second win, trying to get our our momentum back up. We played a real horrible game. We were supposed to do way more than what we were doing. Not to be cocky or nothing like that, but I'm just saying we played a horrible game. They gave us a little feel for our upcoming events or upcoming teams that was coming up, but like I said, we played a horrible game. That's right in the middle where you're getting your juicers ready, you trying to get the orange juice in your system, the water, the Gatorade, and refreshing back up for the next team. We played a horrible.
Yeah, I know how that goes. It's a long day when you got to play 8 games. It's what, 12 hours roughly. So, but anyways, so you guys came out of pool play 4-0, 1 seed, well earned. That's not easy, especially in a tournament like that. Your first game was against the little short-handed Queens. You guys won 9-1. But let's move into the next game, round of 8. ANA. We touched on them a little bit earlier. Score of that one was 7-6. I remember being there for part of it, but walk me through it, because that was easily your toughest game of the day. And I thought, personally, whoever won that game was probably going to win the whole thing.
Yeah. Man, that game right there was like, it was just back and forth, each other just capitalizing on each other's mistakes. If every mistake cost, if it cost a run, maybe even 2, that game, it just couldn't count either one out. But it just, we wanted it more, had to. And that's what we came for. We came to, no matter who was in our way, we promised ourselves that we was not coming back without that trophy.
Yeah. I believe that was the game where a girl broke her hand. I hope she's okay. I don't know who she is personally.
We honestly had plans on meeting up in the championship, but things got rough on their end.
Yeah. What about you, ladies? Anything to add about that game?
We kept fighting, never gave up.
I think it was more so we had to we had a long break in between their game because they had just came off of, beating Killer Instinct, in overtime or something. So we was real dead. We just had to get our momentum back because they was coming off of a big win over there. So they was already amped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they took Killer Instinct to double overtime in the game before, so I've been the victim of that before where you have to sit waiting for an opponent and you get cold. Yeah. So
yeah,
usually you guys are the good exception, but usually that comes to bite a lot of teams in the butt. But thankfully you guys pulled through. You won that game. Next game, Final Four. You guys played a new opponent, one you haven't probably seen all year, Sins.
Sins.
What are your thoughts on them? Because they pretty much dominated every tournament.
That was our first time ever playing them.
What was that?
They had some speed. That was our first time ever playing them. So they had, seeing them in a tournament. They had some speed.
We didn't know what to really expect. Some teams we played them a lot, so we already know. But it was we just didn't know. So we was on our toes, for real.
Personally, I just wanted to beat them because they were number 1,
and I wanted it to be hands down, no questions, who's the number 1 champ on the block. So now we can shut them up.
Anything key from that game? I remember watching parts of it from behind home plate.
I mean, where do you be at though? I mean,
I honestly thought they were
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I had a chance to ref them in San Diego, so I thought they were going to score a little more. So it really like impressed me on another level when I saw what our defense did with them. So I don't know.
I'll say this: as someone who edits games, when I see a score of a women's game that's 4-2, I'm happy because those games that are like 10-15 take forever to edit.
Yeah.
I'll be sure to find that one and crank it out as soon as I can, as soon as I feel a little better.
okay.
Oh wait, sorry, no, that was 9-2. My bad. I'm delirious. You guys won 9-2.
Correct.
So I'm
Thank you.
thinking ahead, looking at the next game. You guys get Mile High in the championship. Was that? I believe that was the second time you guys have played them. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, first time in Tennessee.
So what'd you think going in there? I know you beat them the first other time, but they're not an easy opponent. Any thoughts?
No, and they're actually pretty cool. Actually, they're really pretty cool girls. Their coach, you know, Coach 22. That's
I say we had to strategize on like their game plan or what. You know, we just had to get together and what I'm saying, prepare ourselves mentally because that team to me mentally has a skill set to actually win over on a lot of ways. We fought. You know what I'm saying? We like you said, we played them before, and we kind of knew a few of their girls, or what to expect coming up on the lines. But I really want to give it hands down to our coaches because they was ready, they was on board. You know what I'm saying? They was on board with thinking like, what strategy, what tactic we was gonna take if this situation happened or that occurred, some sort of like that. So we was ready.
Yeah, no easy task. And once again, I will say congrats, Circuit Cup champs 2015, most wanted.
I got a question. Does Mile High, they eat cornbread and pinto beans? Because that third baseman was throwing everybody out. She was very
Hey, she nice.
I mean,
She's nice.
I think beating them. I say this like real humble. She tight, like she's really tight.
Yeah,
like,
she's nice.
But I'm coming for that MVP spot just to let her know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right after
I think.
play, they predicted.
I'm not ashamed to admit it. She has a stronger arm than I do.
Yeah. Hey, I can recall one game she throwing a pass. I'm like taking off, my speed. I'm taking off, and she threw it across, and I literally stopped and froze up and was like, "Dang!" and ran back to my base like, "Whoa, she got a cannon."
Yeah, they definitely have the right pieces. So, and like you guys touched on, they're one of the nicest overall teams. Everybody on that team is just a sweetheart. Yeah. And Smoke knows a couple of them. We played together with them on Project Mayhem. So that's what this community is all about. Making those kind of friendships. And it's tough to hate those girls because they're so nice and they're so good. So, yeah. But like I said, you guys earned it. You guys beat them impressively, I might add, 4-0. I believe the video's out on YouTube. I didn't do it, but one of their players edited it. But it should be on the Circuit Cup playlist. But then, let me fast forward. So moving on to 2016? We got about 8 women's events on the calendar for next year. We got Phoenix, Atlanta, Jacksonville, which is scheduled to be on a Saturday this year. If you didn't notice that little detail. DC, Denver, Nashville, New Orleans, and Los Angeles, with the Cup being in Dallas. Where can we see Most Wanted in 2016? You guys think about that yet?
We're actually about to check out the schedule now while we all here. We're a majority anyway, and see what's going on. But most likely we're trying to be at least 3 to 5 events.
Gotcha. Well, hope to see you out on the West Coast. A couple of those, specifically like like a Denver, Los Angeles. I know those teams just love playing new faces. So, but yeah, when you guys figure it out, post it online. That usually, it's those teams like you guys, the ones that people want to strive to be like, that will travel to play you guys. So when you say, hey, Most Wanted is going to Atlanta, other teams are going to want to go to Atlanta just for that little fact. So don't keep it a secret. Share it publicly and keep us in the loop.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You guys going to take that trophy with you when you travel next year?
Of course.
Of course.
I don't know. Anyway, like the sun.
You're just gonna put it right behind home plate and troll everybody. You better get a big stand so nobody can miss it. Get like a 5-foot tall trophy case for it.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't have anything. I know people are waiting on pictures. I'm unfortunately the guy that's got to go through all of them. So as soon as I get better, I will go through thousands of them and upload them. But you guys have any questions for me while we're at it?
No.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. I want to say congrats again, Most Wanted ladies, Circuit Cup champs. We'll see. Thanks for being on this podcast, and we'll see you guys in 2016. All right. Have a good night.
Thanks.
All right. Bye.